Right. Hi, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the first live chat of the Women Coach Educators Group. My name is Samantha Snow, and I will be the host for today, and our guests are Kim Wyant and Laura Kerrigan. Today's topic is women coaching men's and boys teams. So first, we'll start with Kim, if you just want to give us a brief introduction and background.
Sure. I'm Kim Wyant. I'm currently serving as the head coach for the men's soccer team at NYU.
All right, perfect. And then Laura, how about you?
Hi, Laura Kerrigan. I coach with the boys and the girls soccer teams here at Cary High School in Cary, North Carolina.
Perfect. And then Laura, how about you?
Hi, Laura Kerrigan. I coach with the boys and the girls soccer teams here at Cary High School in Cary, North Carolina.
Perfect. And then Laura, how about you? All right, I'm not sure what's going on. Are you guys getting an echo?
I coach with the boys and the girls soccer teams.
Yeah, definitely getting an echo.
Yes.
Let's see. All right, I'm going to plug in my headphones.
Yeah, definitely getting an echo.
All right, so apologies on the technical side. Hopefully we've got that worked out to everyone. And just to remind our viewers, if you would like to tweet any questions live, you can send them to me at Sam B. Snow on Twitter. And then you can also put them in on the NSCAA YouTube webpage. All right, so first question will go to Kim. Just again, you already said where you coach, but what was the path to where you got to being the head men's coach at NYU?
Yeah, I would love to sit here and tell you that this is the path I had planned, but really it came down to being at the right place at the right time. I was serving on the women's staff as one of the assistant coaches. A woman who I had mentored as a coach was the head coach of the women's team and asked me to serve on the coaching staff, which I was happy to do. And basically what happened was there was a crisis on the men's team last year in that the men's coach, who had been here for 20 seasons, had to resign as the head coach one game into the season. And so really I was at the right place at the right time because the AD had basically a crisis on their hand with a head coach resigning one game into the season. And, you know, they had given me the opportunity to take over the men's program. So that's how I became the coach.
All right, Laura, how about you, your position and how you got to be there?
Yeah, in a very roundabout way. After college, I wanted to coach, but I pursued going to law school. And while I was at law school, I went to practice, but I also wanted to keep my self in the game. So I was a volunteer coach at the college level as well. And I decided I wanted to coach college full time. So I left the practice of law and became a full-time college coach and did that. I was involved in the college game for about 18 seasons. At the time and where I was. So I resigned from the college game and got involved in coaching at the high school level. And first with the girls and started working with the boys soccer program too, and it's just been a great fit for me with the academics.
Great, that's great. Thank you, Laura. So I'll actually lead you, Laura, with this next question. This is actually from one of our viewers. So how quickly in general do the boys adjust to having a women coach? and having a little more technical difficulty there. All right, Kim, how about you take that question then? So how quickly?
Great. So I believe the question was how do the guys adjust to having a female coach? Was that?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, for me, it was, I believe, and it would be a great question to ask some of the guys on the team. But for me, it was really, no adjustment from my perspective. I think the adjustment in my situation is very unique in that I stepped in and took over a team that had lost their coach, and so that was a very dramatic time in these players' lives, that they had had a coach, whether that coach had recruited them or that coach had coached them. That experience that they had was no longer. So now they were getting a new coach. And I think that was challenging in itself. But in terms of their adjustment to a female coach, I think it was just an adjustment to a new coach. And that was a major adjustment that they had to make at that moment. But it went very seamless. It went very professionally. There was no issues or concerns about the fact that I was a female. I think that if you were to speak to them, what I would hope that they would say is that most players, I would think all players, would just want to be in a situation where they're being coached and they're being educated, they're being treated fairly. And that's ultimately the measure that I want to be evaluated on from my players is, am I getting good coaching? Am I improving as a player? Is the coach preparing me for the game, or is the coach preparing our team for our opponent? So again, there was really the guys, again, there was really no difference as far, if I were to speak for them,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of adjusting to a female coach versus adjusting to a male coach.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kim. So next question, and Laura, we'll try again with you. So what are the primary differences for the coach on approach to coaching boys versus girls? Oh, never mind. We'll go back to you, Kim.
Look, I think I had some experience with coaching male players. In my younger career, I had a lot of experience coaching goalkeepers because that's primarily what I focused on. And in my business of training goalkeepers, I would train a lot of male goalkeepers. So it was in some ways moving over from coaching the women to coaching the men. It was not really different for me. Players are players, and football is football. The game is the game. There's really no difference. The ball is the same size. The number of players on the field are the same. The dimensions of the field are pretty much the same. So there was really no difference for me in terms of approaching coaching a male player versus coaching a female player. It was coaching the players to become better as individuals, and to become better as a group and as a team. So I found that there to be little differences. Now there's differences in terms of perhaps the tactics of coaching female players versus male players. Because I do find that in the male game, for instance, it's pretty easy and pretty readily a tool among players that they say can clear a ball 60 or 70 yards, okay, or can serve a ball, 60 or 70 yards. Now, at some of the higher levels of the women's game, that is possible nowadays. Mm-hmm. So tactics can change a little bit because of that very fact that the men are have this ability on a pretty regular basis to hit a very long ball and a very long diagonal ball.
Okay, that is a very good point too. So next question that we've had from a viewer, as far as locker room talk, with guys or girls, what, any thoughts on that? Anything you've had to change as far as that goes?
Again, I didn't approach coaching the men any different than the way that I coached approach coaching a women's team. And I've had experience coaching different levels of women's teams, from Division 1, 2, 3, to my women's amateur team as well, who had former professional players on it. For me, the approach was exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Am I doing my job as a coach to make sure that each one of my players is developing? Am I doing my job as a coach to make sure that my team is prepared to play against the opponent that we had? Am I doing my job as a coach to improve my staff? Am I being transparent and fair and giving honest feedback to players about where they stand on the team, which all contribute to the type of locker room that I have? So for me, the approach was really no different. I just approached it from the fact that I'm coaching a team and I'm preparing a group of individuals, whether they're male or female, to compete in a match. And am I doing everything that I need to do to make sure that they are prepared to play in that match?
Right. Perfect. Thanks again, Kim. So another question then, what advice would you have for other female coaches that find themselves in the position of coaching a men's team or a boys' team?
I just say that just be yourself. Really just be yourself, and be the very best coach that you always strive to educate yourself on best practices, and always never stop trying to get better, or never stop trying to become a better soccer coach, or become more educated about the best practices and the game of football as it's evolving. So again, the players are players, whether they're male or they're female. They're players, and I believe at the end of the day that what players want, at no matter what age you're coaching them, is they want good coaching, and they want a good educational experience, and they want a good experience overall. And I think that whether you're a male coach or whether you're a female coach, coaching the same gender or coaching the opposite gender, I believe that a good coach can have a very positive impact on players, no matter what the situation is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Thanks again, Kim. Laura, now that you are back, so just real quick, briefly, what advice would you give to other female coaches that are coaching a men's team or a boys' team?
Well, I think you have to have confidence in yourself, like you have to do coaching any team, and confidence in your abilities. I don't think, I don't know what Kim's covered because I was out technically for a while, but I haven't had many problems in regards to boys respecting what I say or listening to what I say. Maybe that's because somewhat of my background, but I think it's really how you deal with players. It doesn't matter if it's boys or girls. Certainly there are differences in the game. The boys' game is going to be played, it's a little quicker, the speed and the strength and the ability to play long balls and things like that. But coaching is coaching. There are a lot more similarities in coaching boys and girls than there are differences. That's what I've really found in the last several years.
Perfect. Well, thank you both very much. I appreciate your time. And Laura, sorry for the difficulties, but thank you again, Kim and Laura. And just to remind all of our viewers that we will have our next chat on December 21st, and the topic is going to be balancing family and coaching life. And our host will be Dee Weintraub, and then myself and Sue Ryan will be the guest. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Laura. And
You're welcome.
we will see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you.